Hello and welcome to Ameta Academy. All right, let's talk about Wi-Fi cameras. Now, if you have been in this industry for a while, you probably already have a reaction to that. Wi-Fi cameras. Most installers or integrators, when they hear Wi-Fi cameras, they think unreliable, callbacks, headaches, and honestly, you guys are not wrong, right? But today, our goal is to try to make you see how AIBASE WiFi Series actually flips that, okay? Because we think there is a way to use Wi-Fi cameras. I would say we know, because we've seen that in action, there is a way to use Wi-Fi cameras properly and also, more importantly, profitably, okay? So today, I'm gonna show you what AIBASE WiFi Series is, what problem it actually solves in the field, and where it fits into the real installs, and what kind of projects have been done with these cameras, and how it can add value to your customers, for you and for your customers. Okay, let's get into it. So first, from the top, what is the AIBASE WiFi Series? Now, this is a lineup of commercial grade Wi-Fi cameras, not consumer, not DIY, not something you buy off of Amazon. These are commercial grade systems. We're talking about outdoor full color bullet cameras, Wi-Fi doorbell, indoor cameras, and PTZ options. As you can see it here in the screen, if they're not clear, go check them out on our website. But we have 4 different options at this point. 2 indoor options, 2 outdoor options. Doorbell being an outdoor option, obviously, and a bullet camera, and a PTZ and a indoor eyeball camera. The key thing here is it's built for professional security systems, right? You've got NDAA compliance, ONVIF compatibility. That means you can add it to other ONVIF compatible systems. You've got full color imaging and video, up to IP65 for outdoor use, and in some models, dual band Wi-Fi. In fact, I think that this indoor camera supports Wi-Fi 6. So right away, you're not dealing with a toy or a consumer-grade camera. You are working with something that's meant to go into real commercial installs. But now that being said, I don't want to say residential is completely out of that. In fact, as we were going to talk about the project that we have done, you will see we have done a host of projects, residential and small businesses to small offices like a gym. But I don't want to get into that. We'll talk about it in a bit, right? Bottom line, you have a system that's suitable for commercial and residential use. What are the use cases? We'll get into that. So let's talk about the real reason why this even matters. Okay, why Wi-Fi cameras matter? Because we have a whole portfolio of cable-supported cameras, right? PoE-supported IP cameras. But why does this matter? Why did we come up with this? It matters because you installers and integrators, you know more than me that you have run into this situation where you got a job and running cable is either it's difficult because it's either too far, too expensive, or just not possible because of the way the building is structured, right? Like think about, like just give an example. Think about rental properties, right? People do not want to run cables or destroy the walls because the owners are not happy with that, right? You don't want to be like poking holes into the wall. So rental properties. Think properties that have been finished. It's not like construction has been done, it's spanking new. People don't want to like rip walls or drill holes, right? Think about retrofit jobs, right? Where existing system is there, you got to retrofit something into a functional surveillance system. And you cannot be like doing a full complete job of dropping the cables, running the cables, and doing this complex IP cable run systems, right? That's where this comes in. And what usually happens is if you don't have this option, and the situation is what we just described, the jobs become messy, or the customer just say, forget about it, right? You lose the project. It's like, you know what, we don't want to do this Wi-Fi camera anymore, or any security system for that matter anymore, right? So that's the gap that we are trying to fill by introducing our Wi-Fi series camera. But having said that, I do want to highlight a problem with the Wi-Fi cameras, not with ours, generally in the market. Guys, let's be honest here. There's a lot of Wi-Fi cameras on the market that are literally garbage. Let's just call it the way it is, right? There are I would say unusable, unreliable, really bad cameras, disposable cameras, right? They are unstable, they are cheaply built, they're not integrated into any real security system or any real ecosystem like ours, AIBASE security ecosystem, and they just fail a lot, which means for you guys, installers and integrators, our partners, it's callbacks, truck rolls, frustrated customers, and damage to your reputation, right? And that's why you guys generally avoid Wi-Fi cameras completely, okay? But like I said before, I want to change that for you. And that was the thinking behind our R&D team when we were working on this, developing these Wi-Fi cameras, introducing these models to you guys, is to solve that problem we just talked about. So we introduced this line, and we know when you use it properly, these Wi-Fi cameras actually make a lot of sense. Here's where we see them work really well, okay? Adding onto an existing systems. So small businesses, think small businesses, especially retail and rental properties. We have customers who have done this, talking about real cases. We have had customers who have done these projects for Airbnb. So technically it's a residential project, but it's for commercial use, right? Airbnb, they didn't want to do cables. They wanted to keep it simple. They want to keep it cost in control. They don't want to drill holes. We have customers done residential projects for Airbnb properties, right? We have also had customers do it on a small local gym, right? In my neighborhood, one of our partners so they worked on a project. It was a very small gym. It's not a chain gym. It's just one location, single boutique style small gym. All they needed were like 4 cameras, right? Because it's a small property. There were 4 corners. They wanted 4 cameras. Lo and behold, we had 2 indoors and 2 outdoor cameras suggested to them. So it's about guys, it's about solving specific problems without overcomplicating the install, right? And from a practical standpoint, here's why installers and integrators really like it. There are no cable runs, as mentioned before. There are faster installs, more flexibility, and cleaner jobs, right? Faster install, all of these translates into better reputation, more business, more money in your pocket. So you can walk into a job. If you have Wi-Fi, you're an authorized, certified installer and integrator for AI-based products, you have access to the entire portfolio, including these Wi-Fi cameras. That means you can walk into a job and solve the problem and move on without tearing things apart and do any kind of project. Where cable is required, you can do that. Where cable is not required, you can introduce these cameras, or you can do a hybrid system, as we're going to talk about now. Okay? Hybrid system, right? So here's the key point. Not all Wi-Fi cameras are equal. Pin that hybrid system thought. We're going to go back to that. But I want to emphasize another point before I move on. Not all Wi-Fi cameras are equal. Most of what's out there is consumer grade. And it's not just about the quality. There's another problem associated with that. So they have standalone apps. They have V connections. Their hardware is kind of like a disposable kid's toy. And they have recurring monthly fees if you want storage. AI-based cameras are different. This is built as part of a complete system, a security ecosystem. We've been talking about this from the get-go. You've got a dual-band Wi-Fi option that stabilizes the connection. You've got hardware that actually meant to run continuously. And most importantly, it's not standalone. As you will see when we go into the Tech Squad portion of this. It works with our overall AI-based ecosystem. Okay? With AI-based, these Wi-Fi cameras integrate directly into our NVR, our mobile app, our Web VMS, and you can mix them with wired cameras, right? That's what I'm talking about, the hybrid part of it. Meaning you can have a project where you can have half of it as IP cable run cameras and half of Wi-Fi, or 80% IP cable run cameras and 20% of those Wi-Fi. just so that you can cover all your bases and do the project the way it's supposed to be done, right? So now you're not just managing multiple systems. It's just one system, one interface, a professionally gated security system with a Wi-Fi and with Wi-Fi cameras onto the system alongside the IP cable run system. And that's a huge deal. You guys know that, right? It's a huge deal. A lot of projects, I'm pretty sure you're thinking about it right now, of all the projects where you could have used these cameras in tandem with your wired IP cameras. And this opens up really like something really powerful, right? Hybrid systems, I talked about it, right? Pin it there. Well, let's just unpin it, bring it back here. Hybrid system. You're not choosing between wired or Wi-Fi. You're combining them both, expanding the existing system without any limitation, and delivering the job the way it's best suited to do without re-engineering the project, your design, or tearing apart walls. Sorry. So, excuse me for that. So that's, in itself, is a huge value add and a big, big, big plus. Like, think about the doorbell. I don't know if you were there for the doorbell, but if you're not, our doorbell system, one of the biggest selling points for our doorbell is that it can be added. It's a standalone. You can use it as a standalone. It has an SD card slot, 512 gigabytes of storage can be on it, and you can just add it to the app, open doors, answer calls, see who's out there, get notification for packages. But if you don't want to do that, you can have it added to the NVR, and you have a whole AI-based ecosystem, surveillance system. You can have a doorbell, Wi-Fi cameras, and IP cameras in your property, all on one NVR for recording and VMS for management, right? So as you can see, there's a huge value in this, okay? I do want to address, I just want to come to the bottom portion of my conversation today with you guys. Reliability. It's a genuine question, right? Are Wi-Fi cameras reliable? The answer is they are when they are built properly. With dual band Wi-Fi, connection optimization, and proper deployment, you get a stable performance. And on top of that, storage is covered. Like we talked about, SD card options are here, but you can have a backup in the NVR, right? So even if something happens to the network, you still have your footage. So Wi-Fi cameras, I hope by listening to me for the past 10, 15 minutes, you're able to see that Wi-Fi cameras, generally the technology is not the problem. Technology is reliable. It's the way it's being done by those consumer brand Amazon brands that it's not reliable, right? I don't want to name names here, but you know what I'm talking about. Those Wi-Fi cameras. If you go and type on Amazon right now, you will see a bunch of cameras that show up. It might look cheap, but they are cheap. Disposable devices, right? Okay. Now let's talk about, as my final thing for you guys, is what really matters is money, right? At the end of the day, it's about like projects translating into business growth, translating into money. So how does it actually help you as an installer integrator? 4 ways. Number 1, no wiring means lower labor costs. Number 2, faster installs means you can do more jobs. Number 3, it opens up upsell opportunities on existing systems. And number 4, you can expand system size without adding complexity. So now you're not just solving problems, you're increasing your revenue per job. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. To you guys, as our partners, it matters to us too. So through this, we are essentially helping you achieve that goal. So I want to request this for you guys. I want you to shift your thinking around the Wi-Fi cameras. Think of these as not selling cameras. Think about selling it as a convenience and flexibility, because we have solved the problem of like unreliability, right? So I want you to just shift that thinking now. Think of it as convenience and flexibility options that give better user experience, and the hardware just delivers that. And you can now open up the possibilities of doing projects in a more creative and hybrid way, okay? So when you look at the AIBASE WiFi Series, It's commercial grade. Let's bring it all together. It's commercial grade, fully integrated into our ecosystem, solves real install problems, and creates new opportunities for you to grow your business. This, my partners, are the way you win more jobs without competing on prices. Again, bringing in a solution to the market, solving real problems, and competing on expertise, not price. That's the formula to win. Okay? Now, enough from me. I'm going to now hand it over to Zach from our tech squad, and he's going to talk about something cool about these cameras as well, right? So over to you, Zach.
Hello, everyone. Today I'll be doing a live demo portion of our Wi-Fi cameras, showing how to add them into the NVR while using the VMS, the AI-based Cloud Pro VMS. And then I'll also cover a few topics such as common problems that people have trying to get the cameras connected or just other issues in general. And I'll also explain a little bit more details about the cameras themselves. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go into our NVR here. And so at this point in the demo, we'll already assume that the cameras have been set up and initialized on the mobile app. So they already have the Wi-Fi configured on them. It already has an IP address assigned, and everything is good to go. So what we can do is if we go into our NVR settings, we can scroll down to the option here, which is Quick Add. And the two cameras that I'm using today are the 5 megapixel doorbell and the 4 megapixel indoor camera. So if we look for the IP addresses here, so the first one would be our doorbell, our 5 megapixel doorbell here. And then if we look for the other one, this is our 4 megapixel indoor Wi-Fi camera. So what we can do is, again, like I mentioned, they're already configured with Wi-Fi and have an IP address assigned. So we can go ahead and type in the username and the password for both of these cameras. All right, and so it was successful. So you can see here, channel 10 is the doorbell, and then if we scroll down, channel number 22 is the indoor camera. And this process would be the same for all of our Wi-Fi cameras, our 4 different models. So you would first have to set them up on the mobile app on AI Color Pro, configure the Wi-Fi, set up a camera password. Once all of that is done, it's very simple. It takes around 1 to 2 minutes to configure, but you can go ahead and do that and then add it into your NVR. And then if we quickly take a look here, I won't go into too much detail about the AI, but you can see that our doorbell as well as our other indoor Wi-Fi camera do have a few different options for built-in AI. So you have your human in vehicle, loitering, enter and exit region, as well as line crossing, and also your smart motion detection as well. And again, since all of these are within the AI-based ecosystem, you can use more advanced features like our voice prompts, our sirens, PTZ linkage, all as long as you have the AI-based NVR as well. And so another question some may have is what we see commonly is a lot of installers do project takeovers, or their customers already have existing systems which they did an install with them previously, and then later down the line they get a call back saying they want to add more cameras. So if let's say the scenario where a customer calls their installer back, they want to add more cameras, but either they have a different brand NVR or they just don't want to run wires at all. So here's an example that I can show you directly from one of our UniView NVRs that we have in our demo. So just to show, I do have our indoor 4 megapixel Wi-Fi camera here. So that is just showing you that it is compatible if you do any project takeovers, or if your customers have different brand NVRs, you can add them into the system without any issues. So they do support ONVIF. And then you just need to add in the IP address, username, password, and it'll connect. The one thing I will mention is the AI you cannot configure on a third-party NVR, but you can still do it through the mobile app for the AI-based cameras. And so now that we have that added in to both NVRs, we have everything configured. I'll talk a little bit more about some common issues. So for some of our models, such as the 4 megapixel bullet camera, as well as our AI-based 5 megapixel doorbell, they only support 2.4 band on the Wi-Fi. So the common issue, like I mentioned, is sometimes during setup, some end users or some residential routers or Wi-Fi, they only have it's a combined like hybrid 5G and 2.4. So what you need to do is you need to separate the two bands in order for the cameras to connect. This way you can use the 2.4 for those two specific models. For our other two models, they do support dual band, and also our pan and tilt model supports up to Wi-Fi 6. So that is one issue. Another thing would be the setup. So the setup does require our new AIBASE Color Pro app. It's our new version with our new system or firmware that we released recently. And you do need that in order to set up an account. So you need to register your email address, create an account. It's very simple. And then you can start adding in your devices and configuring your Wi-Fi cameras directly through the app. Other issues may be placement. So for those cameras that support either 5G or 2.4G, it doesn't really matter. It would be the location. So the distance from the router. So if it's too far away from the router, if there's many walls or many obstructions between that communication between the router and the camera with the Wi-Fi signal, you may notice that it might either be too slow or it might take a long time to load. So it's always finding the right placement for it. You can always use Wi-Fi extenders, access points, or other methods to connect it, just so you make sure you have a strong enough connection to keep the video stable. And also, having a SD card as a backup. So as long as your camera's powered on, it will still be recording, but I would always recommend to have an SD card in there. This way you have that video backup in the case that it does lose its Wi-Fi and it may disconnect from the NVR. You can always review that footage later on from the local storage on the SD card. And so that would be the most common problems that we covered today. And then we also did the live portion demo as well. And so that would conclude today's tech demo.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Okay, so now we're going to get into, as you guys know, every Friday and during these Ameta Academy sessions, we do live Q&A. That's the whole point. That's why we go live, right? As if we want to have this opportunity for you guys to interact with us real time, as if we were in the same room talking to each other, right? So I'm gonna go into our chat and see if you guys have any questions that I can address right here. I know the chat's been going on and you had a couple of questions asked already posted there, so thank you for that. If you have any questions, please feel free to go into the chat and post them there. Zach and I will try to address them, as many of them as possible here live. And if we do miss some, we'll obviously address them offline. You can call us, or we can send an email to you guys, or you can email us and we will respond to that. Feel free to post your questions here. In the meantime, I can because I heard Zach talk about the dual band. Most of the people ask us, we live in the age of 5G, why are we still doing 2.4 gigahertz? It's the stability of the connection, range and stability. So it's a fine balance that you as a developer of the product have to walk. So I'm going to tell you what happens behind the scenes. We got to have to prioritize stability over what's really new out there, right? Stability and reliability. When it comes to cameras, the most important factor for you guys, your customer or the user of the camera, is to have that footage available to them all the time, recording available to them all the time. You don't want downtime. And so what happens with 5G network is it's faster, but it's not long range. And if you try to, and there are walls and there's certain structures in the middle, it kind of compromises the speed and stability of the connection. We don't want that. No one wants that with the security cameras, right? So, and plus, we don't need the 5G speed. Our cameras are perfectly fine working on the 2.4 gigahertz band, right? And so we prioritize stability and reliability over what's really new out there, right? The only reason you have Wi-Fi 6 or modern on the indoor cameras is because indoor cameras, you have more flexibility of being closer to the router or the access points, what have you, and generally no obstructions. But the outdoor cameras, you have walls, you have other things, you have concrete pillars, depending on where you are. So we wanted our products, as we talked about in my presentation in the beginning, we wanted it to be as reliable as much possible and solve those problems that the consumer grade product, think about all these flashy signs about 5 gigahertz camera out there. When you really use it and put it deployed in the field, that's when you actually understand the problems. And we think about those, and that's why our R&D department is focused on reliability and performance, not just what's flashy new out there. Okay. Okay. I have a question here. I have used the doorbells that work well. Only thing that was slightly confusing was adding the wireless chime to the doorbell. Need to go to a few different settings, make a shortcut. I hear you. I think Zach helps a lot of people with that too. So I don't know if you know, there is a step-by-step guide within our app, which helps you connect the chime with the doorbell. But I hear your point. We'll think about how we can make it easier. But Zach, do you have any comments on that too?
Yeah. So what we can maybe do, we can work with our team, see if we can make it labeled directly as wireless chime or just door chime in the settings. But if you do go into the options, it does, like you mentioned, Umar mentioned, there is a step-by-step as well as some pictures to enter the pairing mode for the doorbell and the chime. I know it might be a little bit hard to find, but that is something that we can maybe work on to improve to make it easier to enter the pairing mode. Yeah. And then I see also another question is Wi-Fi doorbells, can they also be connected through Ethernet? So the answer is yes. The Wi-Fi doorbells can be Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz or also through Ethernet. There is a Ethernet port, so it does support PoE. You can connect it directly to a switch.
Are we live?
We also have some customers who, in their install, they connected it directly to the NVR. So the setup might be a little bit different if you're connecting through the NVR, just because the NVR has its own built-in switch, and so you may need to configure it a little bit differently. But it does support Ethernet, so you can use your Cat5, Cat6 cables if there's already one existing there at their doorbell.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure we're live again because I was trying to read questions here and it felt like we lost connection. So I just wanted to make sure. So if I was pointing to the camera, it was not to you. I was pointing to my producer and said, can you make sure that we're live? We are online. Okay, so I have another question. Wi-Fi doorbells, can they also be connected via Ethernet? The answer is yes. So our Wi-Fi doorbells have a PoE port. So if you don't want to use Wi-Fi, you have the option to run a PoE cable. So we just wanted to give you that flexibility when it comes to installing that. Certain installs have the option, especially if they're like newer builds and you still the drywalls are not there, you still have the option to run the cable. You can run the cable and hook it up to the doorbell. Obviously cable, no problem at all. You don't have to think about the distance. You don't have to think about where the access point or the router is. It's just stable, constant connection. So PoE is there, but if it's not possible, Wi-Fi is the second connection options. SD card also can work if you just want to do standalone. As I mentioned before, you can add it to the NVR as well, either for backup or your primary storage. I do want to mention no fees at all. Like all our other products, these Wi-Fi cameras are the same. You buy it, you buy it, you pay for that one time, and you're done. Another question. Is there a solar option for the outdoor cameras? Not for these Wi-Fi cameras. We do have a solar camera solution, in the works right now. I'm expecting it to be out, I think, at the end of this quarter, so by June, fingers crossed. It's going to have a solar panel, and it's going to support 4G. So what that means is the camera has the cellular module in it. And so you would be able to put a Verizon SIM in it, for example, and it would take power from the solar panel. It comes with the solar panel. It's a full kit, solar panel kit, solar camera kit. So it's solar panels for power, a cellular SIM for data. So it's going to support 4G connection type. And that's something we're working on right now. We're testing it. As we speak right now, the product is already developed. We're testing it in the field right now to find the last minute bugs or anything that we have. And that's why I expect it to be out in the field, available to you guys, I would say in a couple of months. If Wi-Fi doorbell, another question, if Wi-Fi doorbell power from existing Bell XFMR 12 volt DC or 24 AC or both?
Yeah, so for the Wi-Fi doorbell, if you already have existing, power wires there from an old doorbell that the customers may have, it does support 12 to 24 DC volt, sorry, and 16 to 24 volt AC. So it does support both, but I would always recommend before installing it to do a meter test, just so you can measure the voltage correctly and make sure it's within those operating parameters. What we don't want to happen is, it reads one thing, and so you may believe that it's within those operating parameters, but then when you connect it, it actually either overvolts or undervolts. So just making sure that those pre-existing wires are the correct voltage, it is important before you do the install.
I hope that answers your question. That's a good question, though, Brian. That's a very good question. We do get that question a lot. So some of the frequently asked questions are like, what is the Wi-Fi type? The Wi-Fi band it supports 2.4 or 5. So we talked about that. We talked about like how does it support PoE? Yes. Does it have a standalone SD card option? Yes. Does it have cloud fees? No, never. No cloud fees at all. Can it be added to AI-based ecosystem, meaning the NVR and the VMS? Yes. Everything on one app, the AI Color Pro app. And the power type, yes. I do want to, another thing that we have seen, a common mistake that people do is they try to use the mechanical chime with our doorbell. Not a great solution, not a great idea. That's why our Wi-Fi doorbells, all of them come with our Wi-Fi chime. We always recommend to use our doorbell with Wi-Fi chime. It's a new technology. The problem with existing, here's a reason why we didn't enable or we don't recommend pairing our product, our doorbell, with the existing mechanical chimes. Because the mechanical chime market, there's no standardization in that market. What that means is like every chime has a different power rating. They could be old, they could be new. There's no like per se industry-wide standard for those mechanical chimes. So it's hard to design a product that's compatible with everything out there, right? So we solved that problem by saying, you know what? Forget about the mechanical chime. Our doorbell comes with a Wi-Fi chime. It's pretty simple. It pairs in less than a minute if you follow the steps on the app. And the Wi-Fi chime can be anywhere. It just goes into any wall plug. You can plug it anywhere, upstairs, downstairs. You can have multiple. You can, in fact, pair multiple Wi-Fi chimes, not just one mechanical. So the mechanical chime kind of limits you, like one in a property. Wi-Fi, you can buy multiple, plug it into any wall plug that's available to you, and boom, you have a chime. We have had partners who tried to use the mechanical chime, even though it's not recommended, and they ended up frying the doorbell, right? So please, my request is, guys, never use it with an existing mechanical chime. The Wi-Fi chime is not that expensive at all. I'm not going to talk about pricing here. You can give us a call to find out, but it's not that expensive at all, right? So plus, it comes with the doorbell. When you buy it, one of it comes with the doorbell. And if you need extra, you can buy extra. It's not an expensive product. So use that. It's reliable, no headaches, no hassle, no chance of damaging the product at all. So please do that. Okay. All right. I think we covered a lot of questions. I'm just going to take one more if you have. If you have any more questions, please feel free to add it. I'm going to give it like 2 seconds to see if you have any other questions. We pretty much covered a lot of stuff during our presentation in our FAQs and all the questions. Well, thank you for asking all the good questions. I think these are the general questions that we get from people, and we really appreciate that you're asking these questions and giving us an opportunity to address them live here for you. Okay. All right. I'm still looking at the time. I think we're good with the questions for now. Like I said, you have the option to contact us. If you're a customer, you already have an account with us, you can contact your account manager. You know how we work with all our partners through our account management team. So you can contact us, call us. The number should be on the screen right now. If it's not, it should pop up very soon. You can call us, and we'll be happy to take any questions. I want to leave you with this final thought, okay, or recommendation, I would say. Try this on your next install. Try these cameras, one of these cameras on your next install. Use it as an add-on. Test it in a real scenario. Test it yourself. Go take it out in the field and test it yourself. And you will quickly see what we talked about today, that it delivers what we talked about, and you will quickly see how it fits into your portfolio. You want to go deeper? Join us every Friday on Ameta Academy. You want to go deeper, I mean, on the AIBASE portfolio, not just the Wi-Fi cameras, because every Friday we talk about different topics. You want to go deeper into our AIBASE solutions and other offerings? Join us on every Friday, right? But for Wi-Fi, give it a try. Give it a try, and you won't be disappointed. Ameta Academy, on every Friday, we break down solutions just like this. Same time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific or 12:30 p.m. Eastern for you guys. Please take this time to come and listen to us. Have a conversation with us, right? It's a true partnership when both of us talk to each other and know about these solutions that can serve you, us, and the general American public. Okay? Thank you so much for your time. We want to continue to help support you, sell more, and install smarter. We'll see you next Friday. Have a good day and enjoy your weekend.